So the poem wall was a project put together by our English department. Mr. Jennings brought forward an opportunity for students to be able to share a particular challenge or a struggle in their life. And he wanted to really give students an opportunity in every class, in every area in our school, to talk about something that has been particularly challenging in their life, either in school or out of school. And for students to write that down on a piece of paper and to hang that in the hallway.
As you walk down the hallway and say to somebody, "How's everything doing?" And people always answer, "Fine." So I said poetry is supposed to sort of contradict that lie that everything is always fine. And what happened was when I brought their responses into the classroom and we displayed them on the wall, and these are all anonymous, the kids were sort of amazed that so many of their classmates that outwardly appear fine were in fact had some of the same fears and things that they were ashamed of that they themselves had.
I was really impressed to see the final product and how many students took it seriously and gave a real honest opinion on it. It seemed like the over 95 to 99% of people gave a real heartfelt answer, and I thought it was really interesting to see people be that honest, because I feel like you don't see that very often in class.
I'm ashamed of myself.
I'm ashamed of my anxiety and how it makes me act differently around other people.
I wrote that I was afraid of being kidnapped.
I wrote that I was afraid of change.
My biggest fear was losing a family member.
My sister has been going through a bout of depression and suicidal thoughts.
I'm really afraid of losing my people who are close to me, like my friends or my family.
I wrote that I was most afraid of coming home and seeing that she had attempted suicide or even succeeded.
I was afraid of being forgotten.
I fear that the society that we were raised in will deprive me of originality.
Kind of show that not everyone's as tough as they try to come across in school,
Everybody has a fear, and putting it up on the wall is basically a way of showing that people aren't afraid to embrace it.
It's just to let students know that they're not alone.
You're trying to get a little personal, but without revealing the identity of what you're actually writing about.
I think it was teaching us how to be more empathetic.
Trying to bring students together in a way.
To show kids that they're not alone.
To show that everyone has their own flaws.
Nobody's perfect, Everybody has their things that they're going through. Everybody's struggling.
Something that even you're just afraid of, even if it's silly, it's something you're putting out to the public, but you're not telling them who it is.
It doesn't, because it's anonymous too, so you don't really know who has these fears, but you know that those fears are out there.
If you walk by and you're able to read everything, even if someone has said something that you may still have as well, you're able to connect to them and be closer to them, even though if you don't know who wrote it.
It just shows that we're not all perfect, and just knowing that brings us closer together.
It kind of gives everyone a sense of comfort, knowing that everyone else is going through the same exact thing.
And the fact that you can just walk up and see somebody's personal fear and see the emotion that they put into it, if you can, it's a way to bring everybody closer together, because they all share fears sometimes.
I was just going around after we put up the poem wall, just reading the responses that students put up on the wall, and there were so many that I could relate to, and I was like, wow, I feel close to these people even though I don't know who they are, just because of what they've been going through.
The takeaway from the poem wall experience was a sense of universality, that everyone shares the same feelings, hopes, dreams, and fears. And when it comes to universality, the things that make our kids at Methuen High School specific are don't stop at the border. I'd love to see other schools do this, because we learned that by expressing themselves, kids felt better and connected.